What if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hand? A very interesting direction to go with this character. The idea that, and I feel like a lot of people have missed this fact, is that this is a reality where Doctor Strange and Christine Palmer, I think they were dating in the original Doctor Strange movie, but here it was a relationship that went a lot deeper than the original reality, where they were deeply in love with each other, really courting each other. And so that's why she was actually accompanying him on that fateful day in the road, on the mountains, to get to this ceremony and all this. And it's the most surreal thing because the situation that should have sent Steven off the road, he manages to avoid it, only for some random car to come racing up behind him and just run him off the road. And it's just like, why? It just happens out of nowhere. And he survives the crash perfectly fine, but Christine dies. She just straight up dies. And so he falls into a deep depression because of that. I've seen people say that, oh, well, he was still a doctor. He still could have continued to work and all that. It's just like, no, it's what if he lost his heart, the thing that really made his life worth living? The moment Christine died, he lost all semblance of himself and just started wandering the world looking for some form of direction after her death. He found the Mystic Arts. The events of Doctor Strange basically play out just how they did in the movies. He trains with the Ancient One. She dies. He faces off with Dormammu. He does the bargain, this, that, and the other, becomes the Sorcerer Supreme, all that good stuff. But after all that takes place, he looks at the Eye of Agamotto and decides that he'll go back and try to save Christine. But each time he tries to alter reality, she still dies. She drives the car. They still get run off the road. He decides they'll just go out for pizza. The place gets robbed and she gets shot. They decide to go out dancing. For some reason she suffers a cardiac arrest. He doesn't pick her up whatsoever. She ends up dying in a building fire. Like, no matter what, in this reality, Christine is destined to die. And I've also seen people question, it's just like, but we know of a reality where she doesn't need to die. No, that's the thing. As he's going through these various different iterations of the timeline, the Ancient One comes to him and says that Christine's death is a kind of nexus point. It is the cornerstone of this timeline. That's the thing. This timeline that he's in would not exist if Christine's death never happened. It is the only way for him to be Sorcerer Supreme. It is a fixed point in time that will happen no matter what. Christine will always die, no matter what Steven does. But he's determined to fix it somehow, to somehow break free of this Nexus event. And the Ancient One, who's basically talking through like a projection, an astral form or whatever, she does something that actually splits Doctor Strange in two. In one version of Doctor Strange, and it's like a timeline that exists within the same branch somehow. So one version of Doctor Strange decides to never use the Eye of Agamotto to try to go back in time and save Dr. Christine. The other one decides to go to this place called the Lost Library of Cagliostro. And he ends up meeting the library's keeper, Obeng, who is very welcoming actually, and just allows Steven to have access to the library. They chat from time to time, and Obeng even tells Steven that maybe what he's doing isn't really worth what he's doing. He tries to talk him out of it, but nobody really goes after Strange for what he's trying to do. Even when he first set down this path, when he was considering using the Eye of Agamotto, Wong had kind of tried to advise him against doing something stupid because it's just like it feels like everyone knows what he's about to do, but nobody's willing to actually get involved solidly to stop him. And Strange starts opening all these books and texts, and he finds one that tells him about how to potentially break this fixed point by absorbing the essences of all these various demonic entities. And the first one he tries is the same weird tentacle monster from the first episode, the Captain Carter episode. And he can't absorb it because it's too powerful for him. So he starts off small, and we get this amazing montage that has all this wonderful animation because it's this mix of like 2D and 3D. He even gets a new cloak of levitation, or a demonic cloak of levitation from like this bug sorcerer supreme almost. It's some really cool stuff within that montage as he takes in all these demonic entities. And this is something that's happened in the comics before. Steven taking in the essences of demonic beings and it kind of warping his body is not a foreign concept. But, as he's doing this, actual, years pass without him really aging, and Obang ends up passing away from old age, and Steven even tries to save him, but Obang tries to give him, some departing words of wisdom that, time, loss, it's a part of life. It's something that needs to happen. But Steven ignores this, and we even have a moment where the Watcher is observing him absorbing all these entities. It's just like, I could stop him. I could try reaching out, tell him what he's doing is dangerous, that it will doom everything, but he decides against it. And Strange actually notices him, which really caught me off guard, where Strange notices the Watcher watching him. And he's just like, who's that? Who's there? Where are you? But he just continues on with his work. And the other half of Strange, they call the evil one, the one going down the dark path, Doctor Strange Supreme, so I guess I'll just call that one Supreme, and the good Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange, he ends up being contacted by the Ancient Ones, astral projection. She tells him what's up. He heads over to deal with the Doctor Supreme. They end up the Doctor Supreme tries to court Doctor Strange into merging back with him so he'll have the full breadth of his power. They get into this really awesome magic fight. It is so cool. It's so wild and amazing. And I love all the spells that they're whipping up and sending back and forth, right and center. It is so awesome. Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation even gets destroyed, which I was really upset by. I was like, no, Cloaky! But ultimately, the Doctor Supreme ends up overwhelming Doctor Strange, and they merge, and the Doctor Supreme manages to rewrite reality because, honestly, everything was falling apart the closer he got to his goal. And then things just completely take this darker turn as he does manage to resurrect Christine Palmer. But you see Strange in this monstrous chimera-like form. Christine freaks out, and since reality is basically falling apart and falling into darkness, she starts falling apart as well. He's desperately trying to keep her together and the whole of his universe together, keep it from just dissolving into nothing. And the Doctor Supreme even notices Uatu and starts crying out, asking for his help, asking him to help fix it, saying, aren't you a god? And for the first time, we see Uatu just come in and saying, I'm not a god. I cannot fix this. If you might want punishment, and if I could, I would. But I can't. I can't help you. It's past the point of no return. And so he goes back to watching. Christine just dissolves away, and the universe just fades into oblivion, leaving nothing more than just Doctor Strange all by his lonesome, mourning what he's done. Man, what a downer of a what if, but seriously, that's how a lot of these what ifs go. There's always some kind of sad turn that they always take, which is why I don't regularly read the What If books, because it's just like, Peggy still ends up not getting that dance with Steve, and that's what we end on. Peter Quill still ends up being overtaken by ego, and he ends up terraforming various different planets, killing who knows how many people. The majority of the Avengers die, and here the universe is wiped out except for Doctor Strange the Supreme. That's the funny thing about Doctor Strange, especially in a lot of books, is that there's always this chance that he's going to turn to the dark side and just go out of control with his magic. That's a lot of the stories that he's involved in. Either stopping extra-dimensional enemies or just being caught up within his own power and being lost in it. Because there are a few stories about him doing stuff like this. Not to the same disastrous results, but it's a thing that always tends to happen with his character. But all in all, this was a really solid episode. It just really leaves an impression on you, for better or for worse. And that verbal tongue lashing that Uatu gives to Strange is just like, you done fucked up, Steven. You made your bed, and now you gotta lie in it. And that's true, but previews I've seen from the series trailer hint at him returning to some capacity. For what reason is anyone's guess, but I'm so interested to see what happens next with this character who's just gone such a dark, dangerous, and tragic path. But let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think about this episode and the dark direction that Doctor Strange took? Did you love it? Did you hate it? How were you feeling about it? Let me know. And if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications. And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.